Thank you so much for being here. I'm confident that the extraordinary turnout is because you wanted to hear the thoughts of the interim president at this occasion. That's right. And I will have just a few. But I think certainly one of the things we all are here to do is to meet some of us for the first time, some of us for another in a series of continuing meetings with our president-elect, Chris Howard. Barbara Howard is here as well, and we'll ask Chris to come forward and provide his greetings to the university community. Dr. Howard?
Robert Morris University, right? All right, good. Sorry, I'm like a Republican running for president, only because I'm in one job and running for another job. So I like to say I'm the mayor of Hampton-Sydney College whilst training to be the governor of Robert Morris University. I'm delighted to be here. I'll be brief, I'll be bright, and I'll be gone. Because unlike you all, I don't know as much about this place. So it is not my place right now to give directions or orders or anything like that. In fact, that'll never be my place. And I'll talk in a few minutes about what I think I can do as a president. It'll be broad, it'll be general, and that's not because I'm trying to cop out, but the only way we're going to succeed is together. As Ben Franklin would say, if we don't hang together, we will surely hang together. So let us hang together. Dave, I want to just thank Dave for being such a wonderful, diligent leader and such a good friend to me. Can we just give him a round of applause and say thank you? First off, he's about as old as Robert Morris is, so he knew him personally. But he epitomizes the spirit of Robert Morris. Not because he's old, but because he's wise and smart. Right, Sue? It's because he's wise, right there, because he's wise. Oh, she said he's old and wise. She can say that, I can't. And speaking of wonderful spouses like Sue Jameson, I want to introduce my wife, Barbara. You've heard me do this before. I like to introduce her the way President Obama introduces his wife. She does everything I do, better than I do, backwards and in heels. So that's my wife, Barbara Howard. So. She does have an accent. She's from South Africa, so when we say we're from the South, she's from the way South. And I'm learning my Pittsburgh accent, and we don't have we have accents that she doesn't. So I try to humor her, but you'll get to know her and our two sons, Cohen and Joshua. Cohen is a senior at the University of the South, Sewanee in Tennessee, and Joshua is a freshman at Middlebury College. But they'll be here a lot, especially when we're playing sports games, and because they both love sports. So I look forward to my family being part of this community. And thank you for this honor and this privilege to be amongst these very, very bright and talented and thoughtful and very good-looking people, by the way. You're a very handsome bunch. I want you all to know that. But I wanted to say, just a couple of just very specific points I'm going to make as I move to the podium. I want you all to keep in your prayers Jay Carson and Dan Keener. They've had some health issues. I had to make a command decision as the president. I decided to bring up Landry Jones and Michael Vick to the senior cabinet. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. I won't do that. So, what can the president do? Maybe I'll turn this one off. Can we get this one back on? Is this working? Testing? Okay. President can't do anything by himself. I mean that 100%. And that's not just me trying to be funny or make a quip or what have you. The president cannot do anything by himself. Maybe tie his shoes, but that's about it. The president works with the team. The president works with the community, with the faculty, with the staff, with the students, with the coaches, with the alumni, with the town and the community around us. That's how we get things done around here. And you have a great track record of that. I think there's some things that fall in the lap of the president that he has to do and ultimately decides on, but you don't get there by yourself. You don't get there by kicking people around. You get there by helping people and being thoughtful and being open and moving toward the right direction, in the right direction. There are a lot of challenges in higher education. We have our own set of challenges. You will see some of these on the board. I'm looking at various cabinet officials. I'm going to get as far away from them as possible when they deliver some of the tough news. But you know what? This is a tough place. This is a tough town. This is a tough community. We're going to get to those things. But we're going to do it together. So that's number one. Don't do it by myself, but you guys hold me to a high standard, to always be ethical, be thoughtful, and be respectful, even if I'm tough, right? And if I'm not doing that, just tell my wife and she'll kick me in the shins, okay? So, number two, I can bring an institutional energy and a buzz to this place. This is a wonderful place, and it's so cool being all over the United States and saying, hey, I'm going to be the president of Robert Morris, and you know what they say, right? Didn't you guys beat Kentucky in basketball? I'm like, hell yeah, we did, and we'll beat them again too. I actually met a guy from University of Kentucky who actually, he was like at the game or something like that. He's like, yeah, we're all in therapy trying to get over that. I go, but you know what? There's a great university behind that great basketball team, Coach Toole. So there's a lot of stuff here. So I want to continue to build on that buzz. I've been talking with Cal Fisher and Jonathan Pott, and we're going to continue to shine a spotlight. So I think the president can bring a buzz. I can bring a fresh perspective. I will tell you, I was talking to Rich Harshman, who's the vice chair, soon to be the chairman. Very talented guy. And I was saying, you're only new once. And there's certain things that you all have seen and got accustomed to that are kind of new for me. And I can ask some questions about that and probe and some analysis. I use the example back at Hampton-Sydney College, where I serve as president now for a few more months. There is a cemetery suspiciously close to the president's office. It predates my time there. It's kind of eerie that they put a cemetery. Anyway, if you were to drive on our campus, you would think it was a little weird. But having been there 7 years, it's not so weird anymore. And that's the point, right? So I'm going to see a few things that look a little different. And the cabinet that I've been interacting with, they know I ask a few questions about things they've kind of gotten used to. So I'll try to bring a fresh eye, an appropriate critical eye, not disparaging, but critical. And I think the president can do that as number three. I can ask insightful and difficult questions. I can ask insightful and difficult questions about fiduciary matters, operational matters, strategic matters, and generative matters, right? So fiduciary is about money, operations about how we do things, strategic about where we're going, what's our vision, and generative is asking questions about us asking the right question, right? That's a generative thing. It's kind of an important point that I think high-performing organizations ask, not just strategic questions, but they ask these generative questions. Are we asking the right questions of ourselves? That's number four. Number five, I can podium, right? My friend Mike Rowell is the president of VCU, a mentor, a friend, used to run Central Michigan University, says the president can podium. They give me a microphone a lot, and I'm going to use it to talk about the great work that's being done here. In fact, I'm working on a theme with the senior leadership, Dave Jamieson and folks, about an inaugural theme will probably be homecoming next year, October 7th, and it's RMU, an American story for our world. An American story for our world. American, why? Duh, Robert Morris. I mean, who bankrolled the fight? Who bankrolled the revolution? We did, right? So we have an American story through Robert Morris, the person. We have an American story through Robert Morris University, 1921, business sort of trade school, the JUCO, the college, the university, bold and audacious, right? We have a story, and we have it for the world, our Saudi students, for our research, et cetera. I have a bit of an American story, how I got here, right? And so we want to bring that together, and I want to podium that and continue to get that strategic messaging and branding out. I can help us unite on the same. In addition to podium, I can help us unite around a few key goals in the community's vision. You know, if you try to do everything for everybody at all times, you'll do nothing for nobody. It's a lot of double negatives. I hope there's not any English faculty here. We will do a lot of things. When I was named president, I said we were an all of the above university. What does that mean? We're going to have residents, we're going to have communities, we're going to have online, we're going to have graduate, we're going to have blended, we're going to help veterans, we're going to empower lots of people. But there's about three things we're going to do great. Now we got to figure out what those are. But we can rally around those goals, around that shared vision. Put the right people in the right place at the right time and empower them. Hold them accountable. The president can put the right people in the right place at the right time and hold them accountable. And I intend to do that, working very closely with the cabinet. I can also tell the RMU story to the community, kind of ties into the point about podium. You know, you're speaking internally or externally, but telling that RMU story to the community, to our constituents, to our partners, our friends, to raise awareness of the RMU brand is something I can do. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I think as the president of Robert Morris University, I ultimately serve as the CEO, and that is the Chief Empowerment Officer. My job is to empower you all to achieve your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations, individually and shared, for students, faculty, and staff. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I'll get out of the way. And of course, go Colonials. Thank you.